Asterisk court date to address Bozo's bench warrant for failure to appear. Bri attends virtually. Bozo is brought into the courtroom in a blue jumpsuit with handcuffs on asterisk. Court is now in session to address the failure to comply with a family court judgment and failure to appear in court. You are Bozo blank, correct? Yes, Your Honor. I have reviewed the findings of this case and see that you have not made a payment for child support since October of 2022. You made a payment of almost $4,000 at the time due to a contempt of court charge. Is this correct? Yes, that is correct. And since that payment, you have failed to pay even 1 cent towards your child support payments. Yes, Your Honor, and that is because I haven't been allowed to see my kids since September 2022. And haven't heard from them at all. That unalives a person. How am I supposed to? I have done everything I can just to survive this situation. I've been fighting for my life for the past year because of her. Mr. Blank, I can't give you any legal advice. In fact, I am ethically prohibited to. But the fact that you haven't seen your children in over a year does not give you any excuse not to pay your child support. It's not that I'm not paying because I don't want to pay. It's because I don't have the money. I don't even have a bank account. My family just lost our home because we have been forced to pay so much money in legal fees. So you are saying you haven't had 1 cent to pay towards this account in the past year? No, sir. If I did, I would have paid towards it. My kids are my world. So you haven't been working. No, sir. I had COVID multiple times, and I was in the hospital. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. You haven't been hospitalized for a year, have you? Not for a year, no. Then why weren't you working the remainder of that time? Well, like I said, I had COVID multiple times. Then I had my vehicle break down and couldn't get to work. I just got a new vehicle and I am supposed to be starting work next month, but now I am here. Well, I sympathize that you've had COVID a number of times, but the facts are that you were not incarcerated for the last year, not hospitalized the entire year, are not disabled. And there are help wanted signs everywhere. The I can't find a job excuse no longer exists. There are jobs everywhere. It may not be glamorous or what you want to do, but it will pay the bills and support your children. You have paid nothing except conveniently were able to come up with $4,000 last year to stay out of jail. Miss Blank, if you could turn your camera on now, I would like to be able to hear from you at this point. I would like to note before saying anything about the child support that in terms of the visitation situation, he had been found to be coaching the children and... Let me interrupt you really fast. Visitation has nothing to do with child support, so you can stop right there. Of course, I apologize. And I didn't coach the kids. That's a lie. Wait, sir, she didn't interrupt you. You can give her the same courtesy. Now, Miss Blank, I would like to hear more about the situation we are here today about. Yes, sir. So to my knowledge, he has sent in a couple of affidavits of hardship to the court. Both times he stated he was supposed to start a job within a month, and that never happened. There are also multiple posts on social media in which he is bragging about getting off work or buying expensive games, entertainment, or other pricey items. So he has money for all of this, but nothing for his financial obligations to his children. So people aren't allowed to buy me gifts because you want my money. Mr. Blank, I will not correct you again before I have you removed from this courtroom. Now, Ms. Blank, please continue. Thank you. At this point, I feel as though this is simply a pattern. This is the third time we have had to bring him to court on a rule to show cause due to child support. He's saying he will be able to pay next month after he starts his new job, but he has said this all before and still has failed to pay. That's really all that I have. I don't know what else to say on the matter. All right, Mr. Blank, What would you like to say? Oh, I have a lot I would like to say if you don't mind. First, I'd like to ask her to acknowledge how I am supposed to pay child support when I'm forced to pay for her attorney and court fees. Next, I'd like to ask her how I'm supposed to pay when they doubled my child support at the beginning of 2020 to simply because I got a new job and better pay. How is that fair? Mr. Blank, let me interrupt you for a second. Now I'm not trying to be mean, but let's look at the facts. And the fact is that you are ordered to pay approximately $800 in child support and have not done. So, because I can't. And I understand that you claim that you can't, but the only question before me today is whether or not you are in contempt for not paying. And I don't think I am, because contempt is when you willfully choose not to pay when you have the money to pay. I don't have the money. I can't pay. I can't even hire an attorney because of how much money she takes from me. Because of her, I've had to be away from my children for over a year now. That's unacceptable. My kids are my world. I would move heaven and earth for them. And how many kids do you have with Ms. Blank? 3 beautiful babies who are missing their father so their mother can squeeze me dry. Then think about this. If these 3 children depended solely on you to take care of them, they would have starved to unalive 11 months ago. They would not. They can always depend on me. They most certainly would have, since you haven't paid a dime to support them in over a year. You can't feed a kid with good intentions or empty promises. Before all of this happened, I was the primary candidate to have my kids full-time. That's why she made up all these lies about me coaching the kids. How about we take the kids away from her for a year and see how her mental health is? Apparently, I did not do a good job explaining my expectations of you in this hearing, or you did not do a good job listening to my instructions. Your visitation and your mental health have absolutely no bearing on you not paying child support. You may not have had the money to pay, but you certainly had the ability to pay. You could have gotten a work-from-home job, or mow lawns, or donate plasma. Instead, you have not financially contributed a cent for an entire year. And as I explained, I was extremely sick this past year. I didn't have a job. You were not consistently hospitalized for the last year. You had the opportunity to work and make money. You know what I had? I had nothing. No Halloween or Christmas or summer visitation. Just grief and a crying mom and dad who have been kept away from their grandkids unfairly as well. Okay, Mr. Blank, I can see that you are unwilling to see the truth of this matter. I am sentencing you to 6 months in the Blank County Detention Center due to non-payment of child support. However, you are able to purge yourself of this sentence with a payment of $3,000 plus an additional $150 for court fees. On top of this, I am adding an additional $50 per month to your ordered payment for arrears. Additionally, upon release, if you fail to make your ordered payment within the following 12 months, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Your Honor, you have to understand that by putting me in jail, you are only hurting my children by extending the time it will be before they can see their father. And you will be costing me the job that will enable me to pay all of this money. I am of more use out here working instead of incarcerated through no fault of my own. It seems to me that you have been out for quite some time and have failed to make yourself useful in any way for your children. This order goes into effect immediately. I wish you both the best. Court is now dismissed. Hey Bri, it's Bozo. I'm sure you know who this is, unless there's more men you've had thrown in jail for no reason. I'm not surprised that you didn't answer. But I need you to listen to this message. This has gone on for too long. We need to forgive each other and I need you to drop the whole Abu Dhabi Survivor Act you put on. You have to see that the only Abu Dhabi that's happened is your actions towards me and the children. I know you aren't this type of person, and I'm not judging you. You can go to the courthouse and have them release me, and I will never mention any of this ever again. I forgive you. I know you can't help it right now. You need my help. I know all of this is a cry for help. I know you don't know how to ask for help because of how your parents treated you as a child. I want to be there for you and help you. But I can't do it from in here. So please just do the right thing and tell the judge to release me. Do it for yourself. Do it for the kids. You all need me. And if you could call and add like $40 to my books for until you get me out, that'd be great. The food here is awful. It's really the least you can do. Hi Bri, I hope you are doing well. I was just wanting to reach out to let you know I will be reaching out to the kids' individual therapists within the next week to check on their progress. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will let them know so they will be expecting a call. Just in case you aren't aware, Bozo is currently incarcerated for potentially the next 6 months. Our child support hearing was earlier this week. Yes, I am aware. Let's keep hopeful that he is able to purge himself out much sooner than that so that supervised visits can begin soon. I've spoken to his parents about potential loan options available. I am also concerned about potentially starting visits again if he is released before our next hearing in 2 weeks for failure to pay court-ordered fees. If he ends up right back in jail after that hearing, I'm worried how that will affect the children. We will cross that bridge if and when we come to it. I am sure the children would just be happy to see their father again either way. How did oldest session go today? She's been doing well at school since our last session. She's doing well. It's clear that she is a very happy child. She still does speak about her father, and she doesn't seem to understand that her father's actions are the reason she can't see him. Unfortunately, with her certain type of delays, it's a possibility that she will never fully be able to process and understand what happened with her father the last few years. I honestly assumed as much. I just hope that she's able to see that I'm not who her father said I am. I know she loves me, but I can see her trying to figure out who to believe. Speaking of her father, the gal contacted me earlier this week. I am not an attorney or anything, but in my opinion you may want to try and request a new gal. It was clear she only cared about setting up visits as soon as possible no matter what. Bri is required to physically attend this hearing. Bozo is still incarcerated and is brought to court in a jumpsuit and handcuffs. The gal is in attendance in the audience. Court is now in session to determine if the defendant Bozo Blank is found in contempt for failing to pay court-ordered fees as determined by the family court system. It has been reported that you have failed to pay towards your court-ordered attorney's fees and court costs since ordered over 18 months ago. Is this true? Unfortunately, that is the case, Your Honor. As you have already heard last hearing, I have struggled and been put through every test possible in the last year. I have not had any money. You already chose to incarcerate me for that 2 weeks ago. I am now stuck in jail, making no money, with my debts and child support continuing to pile higher and higher. The court system has decided I should be a... Sir, we are not here to discuss your child support arrears. We are here to discuss why you have failed to pay towards court-ordered fees. I can promise you that it is all related, and I know that Bri would much prefer I was out of jail and actually able to contribute to our children with the job I was supposed to start. I will be making over $7,000 every month. Your Honor, I would like to note for the record Mr. Blank has been informed multiple times that my client has no control over his jail sentence. And I would like the court to acknowledge that I have been unfairly treated by my ex and the courts to the point that I am lucky to be alive right now. Because what no one realizes is that I unalived myself over the Christmas holiday last year. I was unalive for 3 days before I was resurrected. I wasn't in a good place to work. You were resuscitated after 3 days. No, I was resurrected. I was unalive for 3 days before I was brought back to life in the hospital. I see. Well, I've never heard this claim before. I still am failing to understand how this has prevented you from paying towards your court-ordered fees in the last year and a half. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a broken man, and I was broken and beaten by this court and the woman who was supposed to be the love of my life. I have nothing left to give. I'm already in jail. Just add more time. I have been a victim of domestic abusation and violence at the hands of her, and repeatedly are worded by the courts, so do what you want to me. I don't care anymore. So you have nothing else to present to the court in your defense. I am an innocent man. If you can't see that, you'll have to answer to God for that sin, not me. Very well, Mr. Blank. All you have said during this hearing is that you are in willful contempt of the court order. The court finds you in contempt and orders you to 6 months in Blank County Jail, which will be served concurrently with your current sentence. Additionally, you will need to pay $1. 200 to purge yourself of this sentencing. Upon release, you will be given 30 days to begin making monthly payments of $1,000 towards your court-ordered fees if you fail to make a payment. The court will issue an immediate warrant for your arrest. Upon my release, or upon employment. Upon your release, let me make this abundantly clear to you. I do not care whether you are employed or not. Upon release, you are to find employment, mow some lawns, donate plasma. Do what you need to do to pay your financial obligations. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, thank you for proving to me that this court cares more about money instead of my children having a father in their lives. Court is dismissed.